Hey guys, so I'm back with a new video after like what, 5 days or something. I don't know. I was sick, so I couldn't make any videos. I was laying in my bed the whole week. I got sick on Monday after like in the afternoon or something, and it got worse. And so I've been out of work since Monday. And today's Friday. I mean, not Friday. Today's Thursday. See, this is why I need to go back to work because I don't even got my days straight. But I'm going back to work tomorrow. Um, so yeah, I'm glad about that. Um, so I saw this TikTok, and I know I talk about TikToks all the time, but they give you like the ones they come up on my For You page. They give you stuff to like think about and everything. So the TikTok was talking about codependency, and I know I've struggled with codependency like a lot, and I don't really know why. Um, but it said basically, in order to know that you're not codependent anymore, like you've recovered from that, is to literally think about if your life were to turn out where you were alone forever, you have to be okay with that. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I mean, because I have goals, you know? I have things that I would love for my life to have. So, like, would I be okay to be alone forever? No, I wouldn't. And I think that's not a bad thing. Like, I feel like it's kind of dark to be like, I'm okay with being alone forever. Like, I feel like it's a little dark. Like, that's a little sad. Like, I don't feel like that's an indication that you haven't become codependent. I think in order to know if you've recovered from codependency, you have to invite someone back into your life to see how your reactions towards the situation have changed. Um, because I think codependency depends on the people you're around. Um, so what I mean by that is like I feel like you can settle for a while and not have somebody there, but I think codependency is about when someone is there, like how you've become dependent on that person, I guess, in a way. And if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I view it. Um, like I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to know that there's people around that care about you and that you can trust and rely on. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think there's a difference between that and codependency. Um, so, what I've noticed in the past when I've had codependency is like I obsess over like their behaviors. Like, I would literally like check their Snapchat score and see if it went up. Like, I would check and see, like, if they had like an Instagram, I would check and see how long ago it was when they were active, or um, when did they read my message? Did they do this? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I would be checking in on their behaviors and like obsessing over them. Like, okay, well, why did they do this? Why did they do that? Like, why this? Why that? Like, obsessing with it. Like, obsessing with their words. Like, why did they say it like that? Does that mean like this? Does that mean like that? Like, obsessing over it. Um, it obviously wasn't healthy. And it's still something I'm trying to work on. And I've gotten better at not reacting to it towards the person. I used to be really bad about that. I literally would like let my internal emotions come out and I would say something to that person. And I've gotten better about that. But I also just want to work on like not having these internal thoughts anymore, and I think I'm doing a little bit better at it. Of course, I won't know until like I'm in that space where I've gotten closer to someone again, and to like tell if I've really changed or not, because it's easy to say it now, right now, when I don't have someone that like I'm really close with, it's like talking to me all the time, you know what I mean, or like around all the time. um I've also noticed in the past when, like with codependency, like separation brought me anxiety. Like, for example, if they were going to be out of town next weekend and then I was going to be busy the next weekend and we weren't going to be able to see each other, then that would like bring me a lot of anxiety, because I would be like, oh my gosh, like we're not going to see each other for 3 weeks. Or when they would go out to eat with like some friends and like they wouldn't be texting me because you know they're obviously with their friends, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, separation. Like it would give me a lot of anxiety, and like again, that wasn't healthy. And that's something I still have to work on. um and then like fearing, like having a fear of like abandonment. So anytime, so I've noticed a lot of times with guys that I've talked to in the past, like when there's been like an argument, they like to give it some space and then come back to the situation. And I always like disliked it, and I think it was like a fear of abandonment, like, oh, they're gonna be like, F this, you know, and just kind of break apart and stuff like that. Or afraid that every time I get in an argument, like I've always been afraid of like every time I get in an argument with like a guy or whatever that I've been like into, that like they're gonna be like, that's it, we're done. And then so I start apologizing and over apologizing afterwards, even if I didn't feel like it was necessarily mostly my fault. Like I feel the need to apologize because I'm afraid they're gonna abandon me. And I feel like that's not healthy either, because that forces me to like always be apologizing when I need to let the other person take responsibility for their own actions. And if they abandon me, then they abandon me. Like, it's gonna have to be what it is, because at the end of the day, if they had those thoughts of abandoning me and they were gonna do it, then I shouldn't have to try and force them to not abandon me, like by apologizing, because at the end of the day, that's not the type of person I should want in my life, you know what I mean? And I also let go of myself when I have codependency. Like I start noticing that um when I become dependent on someone, when I become dependent on them, like um I let go of the things I enjoy a lot of times. um like I'll say like, oh, I'll skip watching The Bachelor tonight. That's a silly example, but it's something I like doing, so it's not silly. So I've done that before, where like I know it's gonna be 2 hours of watching TV, and I won't be able to like focus on talking to this person, and so instead of like watching the show, I'll like be like, I'll skip it and we can talk or whatever. Or I've noticed I have like stopped going to the gym or doing some like exercises or something, because I know that like I want to like spend more time with that person or whatever. So I think it's important to like keep yourself and keep your needs and boundaries and wants intact, and not letting it disappear from when you're talking or dating this person. um I've also noticed that I try to like change the way I say things to a way that I feel like won't hurt this other person or trigger this other person. And at the end of the day, like I just need to be true to who I am. Obviously, if the words I'm using are not healthy or not productive, then obviously that's a reason to not say that stuff, obviously. But I'm talking about like if the words are true, the words are said in a kind, healthy way, that I don't need to be afraid to say those words because of a reaction. I just need to be true to like what I think and go for it. Um, but I've noticed I start to like edit or change the way I want to say words to benefit the other person. Um, but I think at the end of the day, and there has to be just love and trust. I feel like if you have love, the ultimate love and trust is when you can go some time and know that like everything's gonna be okay and you're gonna come back from that situation, and like that person can do their own thing and then you can come back from that situation. Basically, I don't think it's right for like someone to like kind of like abandon you altogether. Like that's not what I mean. Like if someone's abandoning you, I can, my voice is still a little weird because of the sickness. I don't know if you guys can tell. I can tell, but anyways, I don't mean like abandonment. Like if someone literally abandons you, then like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when they go out with like their buddies or something like that and then come back or whatever. I feel like there needs to be like ultimate trust and love there, that like you can do your own thing. You're not in your head like oh my gosh the whole time, or like texting them the whole time. Like give them their space, they'll come back and see you and tell you about it or whatever, you know. I feel like that's when you'll know your codependency has subsided some, you know, when you can do that without feeling anxiety. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I covered everything I wanted to talk about, but my mind's blank, so I'm gonna stop there.